Well, one of the most important things I use is the smartboard, and every day I try to have my lesson ready to go, and I use that to take my notes on, and then I let my students, if they want to, they can go online and look at those notes because I always save them onto my website. The next thing I can do with my smartboard is that I make videos of my lessons, and I usually do this before or after school, and I'll post those on my website, and that way my students can access them, and that's very important to them because if they've missed, this is a way for them to catch up on the material as opposed to just being completely lost. And this year we put a new focus on the technology using the videos. My students had to come in and make videos of themselves teaching, and then we were able to put those on iSchool and the students could go access those, so it just gave them even more questions that they were able to find and see worked out. And I used iSchool in a couple ways. Sometimes I would post questions and the students would have to do written responses, which is a little different in math, but I think it made the students do a better job of writing because they couldn't just scribble something down. They knew it was something that I was going to read. And occasionally I could put quizzes up where they could go and I could check the answers very fast. And so I just think all of those have been very helpful in my classroom.
It's pretty straightforward in a Photoshop class where we're using a professional program incorporating technology in terms of Photoshop. We have another program called Art Rage, which is a lot of different art materials that you would use in actual art classes, digitized and used with a pencil, pen type of tool, as well as the mouse. So Photoshop's a direct connection with graphics communications, graphics design, and what have you. This is a CS3, a Photoshop project that we worked on in the past. It's a business card for a local company. Try to incorporate local business or at least regional business within assignments. We do flyers and other things incorporating text, visual images, discuss the importance of certain things standing out, what needs to stand out as the most important part of the project. As you can see, there's the owner name, telephone number, looks up on Facebook, operations, then their decal or their logo or whatever it is that's going to grab the person's eye. A little bit about the Photoshop, it's different layers, a lot of different things going on within the program. It's a professional program, so teenagers actually get to incorporate a professional program into their own artwork. Also use PowerPoint in Art 1 classes to show art history, show timelines, to discuss certain things. I have students create their own PowerPoint, do a little bit of research, look at the images, and actually present those. Other ways to use technology would be just simple things in terms of jump drives and way to get data back and forth from home, working on it in other areas. As far as enhancement, the economy, the world, the workforce is all kind of transitioning into a technological type of workforce. So I think for students to get more experience with computers, more experience with iPhones, iPads, the Nook, Kindles, they're becoming more inept and more connected to where the world's going in terms of technology.
Well, I guess we use technology in so many different ways, it's hard to narrow it down to just three. But one big way is having the students use technology to take lab results so that they can collect data and analyze data. Before we had very much technology to use, they would do laboratory investigations, but it was very difficult to analyze and get good data, and they would end up just being more confused. So with technology, we can take good data and then analyze the data in a rather short amount of time, and then be able to use that and see results and actually do science like a scientist would, instead of struggling through small things and getting hung up on things that really didn't matter for what they were trying to see. So that's the first big way. Another big way is we use technology for problem solving. I've got some problems set up that are basically like a web page where you can go through and gather information. It gets the students closer to the real world without having to have entirely out into the world collecting everything. So it gives them kind of a subset of a realistic type of problem. And the third big way is I use the clicker systems for the students to do warm-ups every day in class, which really helps to keep me organized, keep them on task. And it's quick and simple to grade, and it gives the students immediate feedback, so that keeps them engaged in what they're doing.
Wish I could light your back.